Yo, Elliot! So I've been flipping through all of the questions you guys send me in the YouTube inbox, because that's where I go in order to field questions for these videos. And a good percentage of them are from you guys who are starting school, either high school, but really a good percentage from college. And you've got these ridiculously wild schedules that don't give you the time that you've been allocating towards training all summer now that school has started. So you're kind of bugging out, and I totally get it, I understand. Because you probably understand something that the education system has completely forgotten or just doesn't give a shit about, and that is that your mind extends beyond your skull brain. You know, your entire peripheral nervous system is an extension of the brain. The brain doesn't stop at your fucking neck. It extends itself down into your body through the brain stem, into all of the nerves that innervate your organs, that innervate your tissue. Your entire body is your brain. Yet we live in a system where the educational construct is such that you sit down, deaden the body, deaden the roots of the entire nervous system, the entire autonomic nervous system, all the brilliance that's associated with the body that beats the heart without you having to think about it, grows a baby without a woman having to do it, regenerates cells, digests your food. We shut it down, pretend as if it's a separate unit from the rest of the body. Physical education is something else, something you do later, and then we just focus on input and output through the fucking head. Hear, see, and spit, 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 spit. Where do you digest? Where do you assimilate? Where do you utilize? In your body. It's the same way that it works with food, is with education. Understanding isn't here, right? Understanding happens in the body. Wisdom happens in the body because experience contributes to your learning. I have children, right? My oldest daughter just turned 9, and then my son is 3 years old. I watch them develop physically, and each growth spurt is associated with a cognitive or an emotional or a relational skill. When they go from crawling to standing, there's an entire psychological evolution associated with it. Their brain, their head brain, now has several brand new abilities, several brand new components. They become more intelligent the more their body evolves. And it doesn't stop when you guys go to college. Of course, I'm not answering your question. I'm going in a little bit of a rant about how stupid we've become. We've become so smart, right, that we've lost our intelligence. The intellect has taken over true intelligence, and intelligence is sensitive because it's happening. It's dynamic, it's physical. And all the ancient traditions understood this. If you look at the traditions of the East and of the West, right? We tend to think of the West as like, that segment of the world that just chopped off the body. In many ways it has. But even Aristotle has been well known for not accepting students that were not physically fit. And his students had to physically exercise if they wanted to learn with him, because he understood that learning is a full body process. You cannot learn, you can't sit, absorb and regurgitate and think that you're learning something, because you're not, you're just memorizing shit. And obviously in the East, I mean, they've got it down pat. In the yoga tradition, the Qigong, Tai Chi, martial arts, it's all integrated mind-body. Even the fact that we have to say mind-body is kind of a silly thing, because it denotes the lie that they're somehow separate. My heart is just as much my mind as my head. My balls is just as much my mind as my head. You understand? So what do you do, right? So that's just Elliott's little discourse on why physical education is mind education, is brain education. What you've got to do is realize, number one, and I tell this to my children all the time because they do go to school. School is just a game, just like any other fucking game. Now you might say that, well, that's irresponsible, Elliot, because if you treat school like a game and you don't do well in the game, you're not going to do well in the world. Well, the world is a fucking game too. You see, you think because you have a particular type of career or a particular car, you live in a particular neighborhood, that that's who you are. But it's no different than a kid who puts on a cowboy hat and thinks he's a fucking cowboy. It's all added to us. It's all external. It's all trappings that give us this imaginary feeling, that gives us this feeling that this is who I am. I am a lawyer. I am an accountant. I am a doctor. No, you're not. You're far more than that. But you're playing this role in our socioeconomic machine. And you can play whatever fucking role you want. School is a particular role. Student is a particular role. Don't look at it or approach it from anything else than what it is. You are not your car. You are not your khakis, right? You are not your degree. You are not your grades. Those are things that are happening, but they are not who you are. You know who you are? Here in your body. Not accountant, not lawyer, not millionaire. This is where you are. So if you really want to enhance yourself, you really want to grow stronger, but hey, that's Elliott Hulse's term. You really want to move up in the world, you've got to move in first. And in order to move in first, i.e. take care of your body, you've got to prioritize it, okay? So we're literally giving up one game, the health of our body, which is the most important part of this whole fucking thing, because it's who we are, in order to do well at an abstract game, the socioeconomic machine. Now you do need money in order to take care of your body, but a lot of it's way too fucking neurotic. Do you understand? Making money and getting good grades aren't intrinsically linked either. School doesn't equal career, and we figured that one out, haven't we? Right? How many of you guys have these master's degrees, right? You're so educated, but yet you still live at home with your parents, right? You work at Starbucks. Because it's a fucking game that they lied to us about, and they shackled us to it with another game, which is called debt. Money. It's another fucking game. So now you owe $80,000. You're sick because you're depressed about that. You're stressed out about that. You can't make any money because you owe so much for a fucking game. But look, if you approach that, let's say you're in that situation, you approach it as if this is a fucking game from the beginning, you realize the most important part of the game is your game piece. Fuck the debt. What are they gonna do? They can't arrest you, right? Those days are over. They're not gonna cut off your hands and call you a thief, depending on where you live in the world, right? What's the worst that could happen? You failed. Big fucking deal. It's abstract. It's a fucking letter, F. But you know what you still have? You gotta deal with this. You gotta deal with your heart, you gotta deal with your balls, you gotta deal with your mind, you gotta deal with your peripheral nervous system. You still got the game piece. Work on your fucking game piece. Make that a priority. Everything else is just a fucking game.
Yo, Elliot,